Hi, I am Noelle. If you have ever lost someone who is your North Star, you know that grief is not a straight line. It is this twisting journey that we take that takes years. Years ago, I wrote a book called Sacred Hellos, and it was my way to process the sudden loss of my mother. And it was all about how I use signs and creativity to transform that decade of grief that I had been through into peace again and hope. And I wanted to start sharing and reading a chapter each Sunday with you. It feels so relevant again as I am just taking inventory and stock of my life here and getting ready and selling everything. So it felt like the right time to share this book again. And my hope is that you can take each of these chapters and use them in whichever way helps you on your own journeys. So let's get started. Rather than start at chapter 1, I wanted this first week to be, we're going to dive right in. So I'm going to page 96, and it's called The Grieving Superpower. I was talking with a friend as the 1-year anniversary of her husband's passing was approaching. Noelle, I feel like I'm in a freaking movie, like it can't be real. All the stuff that's happening. She went on to explain people who have come into her life daily during the last year as if on cue to give her a message or a sign. The perfect, quote-unquote, accidental meetings of others and stories to share for her benefit. Odd meetings that she would have brushed off in the past. Now she was hyper-focused on allowing them to unfold. I couldn't help but nod in agreement. Yes, I knew exactly what she was talking about. I call it the grieving superpower. After losing someone who was a part of your daily life, there's a time that follows that event where life feels like our world has been busted into a million pieces. Every daily routine is now altered. Every holiday forever changed. A buzzing of counter-narrative rolls through our brains non-stop. Imagine yourself in a tunnel with laser-like focus on processing one thing, grief. All attention is on trying to understand the loss, remembering your loved one, and figuring out how to move forward. All other sounds are now muffled in the background. Things that seemed to matter before often seem frivolous during this time. This time, although a time I would never wish on anyone, does bring its own gifts as well. It's a time before real life has sucked us back in. I wanted to share 7 ways you can honor this superhero grief period. Number 1, write in a journal. During this time of intensity, it can feel as if things will be this clear and focused forever. Write things down. Write your feelings. Write your memories. Write all that you notice. Signs from spirit, dreams, the kindness of others, goals for your future. Write them all down. Continue writing when you feel anger or sadness, fear, and yes, even joys. During this time of hyper-awareness and simplified life, it is the time to capture all that you can. You will be able to gift yourself with this written down account of everything later when you find yourself out of this grief tunnel. Number 2, know that you are not alone. Find your people. Sometimes those around us are understanding and can be an incredible support system. Other times we do not have people around us that are able to be as supportive as needed. Find online grief groups, podcasts, read blogs and books. You do not have to experience this time alone. When we are so in tune with grief and our loss, it can leave everything else as a blur. Do not be afraid to find help to rejoin the outer world as well. 3, there is no proper timetable for grief. I have heard too many stories of a boyfriend or spouse, a boss, a well-meaning best friend expressing frustration that, quote, "you're not over it yet," quote, unquote. In-laws who do not get it, friends or coworkers who seem annoyed that all you talk about is your loss, or family who wants you to move forward and quit moping. People try to understand, but we all handle things differently. My advice is this: trust your knowing. Find people who can help you move forward and honor your grief. If you are not able to handle your career, your kids, your life, then I encourage you to find help. Find a counselor, a pastor, a therapist who can walk you through honoring your grief while also honoring your life commitments. There are also online groups where you can share your feelings openly without fear, judgment, or fear of annoying those that you love most. I share a few insights in the introduction chapter of this book, as well as about breaking the loops of circular grief patterns. Number 4, gather wisdom. Is there something you could take from this unthinkable time that could help others? Is there a new perspective you have gained? Finding truth and wisdom does not mean you are glad the event happened. It means that if you have had to walk through this fire, at least try to harvest what you can from it so you can reach a hand out to the next person and help them through the fire as well. 5, find a way to honor the memory of your loved one. There are many options. Find one that resonates with you or your loved one's personality. You could write about them, create a photo album, find a creative outlet such as drawing, singing, crafting, cooking, or even redecorating. When my mom passed, my sisters and I gathered up her favorite recipes along with photos of her cooking with all her grandchildren and put together a cookbook. That following Christmas, we gave those cookbooks out to all of my mom's siblings and kept some for each of us. The process of creating that book allowed us hours of conversation and reliving memories of our mom in the process. It was very therapeutic. I will add, yesterday as I'm filming this was 17 years since my mom passed, and we still use that cookbook. We each try to bring things to different events from that cookbook. So it served as this beautiful anchoring that now as there's many more grandkids, they get to still experience her recipes. Number 6, honor your knowing and the signs. Do not waste your valuable energy trying to convince others of your beliefs or experiences that have happened. Just as my friend shared with me about her experiences, pay attention to those who enter your life and gift you with conversations and perspective. I was just thinking back to when my ex-father-in-law passed. I had not heard yet that he had passed, and that day, my son and I went in a shop in our small town here, and we're checking out and got in this conversation with this man behind the counter about concert t-shirts and had this long conversation about them. Now, I've literally never had a conversation in my life about concert t-shirts, but then later to find out that my father-in-law passed and he collected concert t-shirts. And it just felt like this confirmation of sorts that energy is all around us, that conversation with that man in town would find its way to us the same exact day was just a really neat experience. Number 7, take photos. I wrote about this extensively in another chapter in this book, but I'll sum up my point with this. If I could tell every person who has lost someone dear to them one thing, it would be take photographs. Go into your loved one's space and take a photo of the way the reading glasses are sitting on the table, how the spice cabinet looks, or the jacket hanging on the hook. Photograph the wall of framed photos, the collection of ball caps or figurines. Capture the yard, the tools on the workbench in the garage, the view from the kitchen table, even their favorite chair. In the years following my mom's death, the walls were repainted, furniture was replaced and passed down to us kids. Slowly, my mom's decorating style and personality were taken out of the house. I'm so grateful to this day of any photos I have where I can see parts of her decorating and style in the background. This time, it will pass. Grip it with all you can while you're in this sacred, painful, hyper-focused, emotional, and mental place. There is a bond still to your loved one and in your daily thoughts and activities. Even if you never thought you would be in this situation, someday you will look back and realize this hard time was sacred. So that was a chapter out of Sacred Hellos, Messages from Heaven. This book is available on Amazon in either this paperback form or in Kindle version, and I'll put a link in the description for that. I'll be back next Sunday to read another chapter. I would just add to that chapter that I read now, looking 17 years back, how I'm grateful now when little moments pop up that do bring tears, or that allow me to feel such a strong connection to her. They're rarer and rarer as the years go by, and maybe also just more integrated. I probably think of her still every single day, but it's in a different way. 17 years is a long time to have someone not be visible and yet a part of your thought process, and a part of, you see glimpses of them in your children or your siblings sometimes and their mannerisms. So lastly, I have created on my website, it's a free download, Practical Pivot. And it's just walking through how to go from one path that you were on in life and how to transition to another, whether that is retiring or moving, downsizing, changing careers. It takes a level of us granting ourselves permission to be what feels a little selfish sometimes, but it's a realigning of parts of our lives. And sometimes people around us don't fully understand what that is, or they're used to us catering to them in certain ways. And so it's not easy for them to see how much it's affecting us in what we've been giving, that maybe we can't keep pouring ourselves out at that rate. So I'll put the link in the description for that download, but it's absolutely free. I would love if you'd go over there and get it. There are some worksheets on there you can fill out with it. All right. Thanks so much for watching.